Okay, what's on my shelf? Returning to the present. Also before you is that Competition Pro Super 16 controller I recently uploaded a video on. If you watched it, my main complaint with this controller was the D-pad feeling a little stiff. Like imagine doing a backflip in the Mario versus Donkey Kong or Mario or Donkey Kong 94 game or Mario 64 where you want to kind of press forward and quickly back. That being able to switch directions quickly felt it just feels stiff, or it actually feels more lopsided to the right, to tell you the truth. But I had an idea sparked by a comment. See, this is why comments are good. Left by Dead Thumb Gamer. He was comparing this controller. He asked me whether it was similar to the pad on the official Sega Genesis controller. This thing feels like it moves. It really is fluid. It has a very floatiness to it, but you still have a very accurate amount of control. That got me thinking, maybe since they're so similar, I might be able to take the D-pad as well, and put them into this one. So that's what we're going to do here. We're just going to swap them and see how it works out. I do have other Genesis pads that may work, but considering how I have some duplicate Sega Genesis pads, I don't even use this pad anymore, but I keep it around just, in case my imaginary friend comes over and may want to use the official Sega Genesis pad. But yeah, let's just get to it. Oh, there's a screw there. Thought it was wedged on. Right away, I don't know if this is gonna work, but yeah, well, whoop. No, falls right through. I may have another controller that would work, but it would require me to obviously put this down and look for it, so that's what I'm going to do. I really don't know how that one feels. I have to feel it in my hands, but I'll be back with some options. Alright, before we begin, I just want to assure you that I'm not taking apart the perfectly working official Sega Genesis pad. I have a full bag of these broken controllers with all the various issues. So this one's prime candidate, and there's some weird gunk on it for some reason. I have to clean it off before I do anything with it. So I took apart this high frequency pad, and it has pretty much the same exact design for the D-pad. So when I put it on there, it felt exactly the same. I didn't even close up the controller. I could already tell that it was pretty stiff. So it got me thinking, I do have plenty of broken Sega Genesis pads. I was figuring out what exactly makes this pad feel so easy to just go from a right to an up to a left to a down. And it's this kind of domed nipple at the center of the D-pad, and oh, here it is. And with the apparatus that it has, this D-pad fits inside this, I don't know, spacer thing, and it has a domed shape on there as well. So when you fit the two together, and the screw secures it, the pad just sort of glides around this smooth surface rather than kind of being gated to the four-way direction of the setup that we've got there. So I thought maybe I could obliterate, I mean that's basically what I would do. Maybe I could chop out this section here on the back. You can see how wide that is. Chop that out and plop it in there, maybe secure it with some JB weld. So I did some tracing and it seemed like it was kind of working alright. And now I did with cardboard. And it seems like, I don't know, it seems like it's a tight fit. It seems like it would fit, but I'm just not sure. So, like I said, I have plenty of these pads here, but I don't know. I'm hoping that I mean, they're broken, so it's not going to be a big deal, I guess, if I just destroy one. Well, I guess I'll see you in a little bit. So when I open up those official Sega pads, they both had the same four-way gated design with the rigid piece and the rubber pad that was held in place by these two holes. And I took a look again at the pad I do like, and noticed the D-pad rigid part itself was closer in size to the official Sega pad. In fact, when I took these both out, they were the exact same size. But even internally, the design of these, here, take out the rubber piece there, the design of these is different. This again, it's held by, it has a gated design, but I guess maybe it just is a little bit wider, so maybe it does give it a little bit more play there. Whereas this thing is sort of like a chamfered cross, and the way the rubber piece holds on here with those ridges, it just gives it a very distinct feel when you press each direction. It's you get a very distinct press, like there's a nice spring, and that coupled with the dome shape underneath the D-pad gives it a lot of swivel, you know, when you're doing like a quarter turn or whatever, or when you're moving from an up to a left, or you know, up to down. Very nice, smooth transitions. And finding these, I can imagine why I must have come across this before when I took these apart to clean them, but and kept this one because it's not something that's easy to find. They're all labeled as model number 1650, so yeah, the only way you can tell is by opening up these suckers. The motherboards look different. Here's the motherboard. I don't have the other one, but the motherboard is blank. Maybe there's a revision number on here. I can't see anything that would give me a clue. I mean, obviously, if you opened it up, you could easily check the D-pad, but finding these is going to be a real chore if you want to see what I'm talking about. This thing is like the best. You know, when I started this, I really thought this was going to be a simple mod, but I just kept stumbling, you know. I went through all of my broken controllers and working controllers in the back. I do have another one of these that I keep in my normal supply, and I think I must have noticed this before, this special D-pad, because it's really nice. Like, there's no other Sega pad I've ever, it's a dream. It's a dream. I did take note of one major difference that might help you spot them, but it's still going to be hard. The D-pad is smaller, and there's a larger gap between it and the well around it, whereas on the earlier controller, it's pretty flush. There is a slight gap, but either way, it's still going to be hard to spot. These highlights are always white from the ones I've saw online, and the plug on the end always has a ridge rather than just being flat. So, and it's a longer cord as well. It's like 6 feet. So I did see ones that were selling for 10. I saw somebody selling it for 30, and I was like, yeah, right. I want to pay $5 for one of these, and I probably come across them before in the thrift store. So, you know, I'll probably find one again, and I just have to really take a hard look at them. But yeah, I mean, in terms of the original intent, this video is a failure, but you know, hopefully we learned something. I will continue this mod if I do find another one of these controllers. So yeah, until then.